A chicken farmer went to a local bar, sat next to a woman, and ordered a glass of champagne. The woman perked up and said, "How about that? I just ordered a glass of champagne too." "What a coincidence," the farmer said. "This is a special day for me. I am celebrating." "This is a special day for me too. I am also celebrating," said the woman. "What a coincidence," said the farmer. As they clinked glasses, he added, "What are you celebrating?" "My husband and I have been trying to have a child, and today my gynecologist told me that I am pregnant." "What a coincidence," said the man. "I'm a chicken farmer, and for years all of my hens were infertile, but today they are all laying fertilized eggs." "That's great," said the woman. "How did your chickens become fertile?" "I used a different rooster," he replied. The woman smiled, clinked his glass, and said, "What a coincidence." A woman was in bed with her lover when she heard her husband opening the front door. In a panic, she told her lover, "Hurry, stand in the corner. Don't move until I tell you to. Just shut your eyes and pretend you're a statue." At that moment, her husband walked into the room. "What's this, honey?" he asked. "Oh, it's just a statue," she replied nonchalantly. "The Smiths bought one for their bedroom. I liked it so much, I got one for us too." They went to sleep, and then around 3 o'clock in the morning, the husband got out of bed, went to the kitchen, and came back with a sandwich and a glass of milk. "Here," he said to the statue. "Eat something. I stood like an idiot at the Smiths for 3 days and nobody offered me so much as a glass of water." The woman says, "Doctor, I don't know what to do. Every day, my husband seems to lose his temper for no reason. It scares me." The doctor says, "I have a cure for that. When it seems that your husband is getting angry, just take a glass of water and start swishing it in your mouth. Just swish and swish, but don't swallow it until he either leaves the room or calms down." 2 weeks later, the woman comes back to the doctor, looking fresh and reborn. The woman says, "Doctor, that was a brilliant idea. Every time my husband started losing it, I swished with water. I swished and swished, and he calmed right down." "How? Does a glass of water do that?" The doctor says, "The water itself does nothing. It's keeping your mouth shut that does the trick." Teacher, your parents came to school yesterday but you didn't. Student, my mom and dad both used to insist on dropping me off at school. This time, however, they both went and left me at home instead. A married daughter speaks to her mom on the phone. "Me and my husband had a fight today." "Mom, it's okay, that is common after marriage." Daughter, "Yeah, but what do I do with his dead body now?" A man said to a child, "Just smell the handkerchief, how does it smell?" The child said, "I know if I smell this, I will faint and you will pick me up." Man, "Well, eat this chocolate and see." Child, "I am sure that I will faint as soon as I eat it, and you will take me away in a sack." The man asked in surprise, "How did you know that?" Child, "My father told me." Man, "So who is your father?" Child, "I don't know because they brought me from somewhere in a sack." Thomas is 32 years old, and he is still single. One day a friend asked, "Why aren't you married? Can't you find a woman who will be a good wife?" Thomas replied, "Actually, I've found many women I wanted to marry. But when I bring them home to meet my parents, my mother doesn't like them." His friend thinks for a moment and says, "I've got the perfect solution, just find a girl who's just like your mother." A few months later, they meet again and his friend says, "Did you find the perfect girl? Did your mother like her?" With a frown on his face, Thomas answers, "Yes, I found the perfect girl. She was just like my mother." "You were right, my mother liked her very much." The friend said, "Then what's the problem?" Thomas replied, "My father doesn't like her." A police officer attempts to stop a car for speeding, and the guy gradually increases his speed until he's topping $10. He eventually realizes he can't escape and finally pulls over. The cop approaches the car and says, "It's been a long day and my tour is almost over, so if you can give me a good excuse for your behavior, I'll let you go." The guy thinks for a few seconds and then says, "My wife ran away with a cop about a week ago. I thought you might be that officer trying to give her back." While teaching a class, a teacher trying to teach good manners asked her students the following question. "Michael, if you were on a date having dinner with a nice young lady, how would you tell her that you have to go to the bathroom?" Michael said, "Just a minute, I have to go pee." The teacher responded by saying, "That would be rude and impolite." "What about you, Sherman, how would you say it?" Sherman said, "I am sorry, but I really need to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back." That's better, but it's still not very nice to say the word bathroom at the dinner table. "And you, little Johnny, can you use your brain for once and show us your good manners?" Johnny said, "I would say, darling, may I please be excused for a moment? I have to shake hands with a very dear friend of mine, whom I hope to introduce you to after dinner." An elementary school teacher is asking a student a maths question. Teacher: "Okay, Jimmy. If I gave you 2 cats and another 2 cats, how many cats would you have?" Jimmy: "5. Teacher: "No, Jimmy. Let me ask you another way. If I give you 2 apples and I give you another 2 apples, how many apples would you have?" Jimmy: "4. Teacher: "Good, Jimmy. Now if I gave you 2 cats and another 2 cats, how many cats would you have?" Jimmy: "5. Teacher: "Jimmy, that is incorrect. Why are you answering with 5? Jimmy: "Because I already have a cat." 2 old ladies were outside their nursing home, having a smoke, when it started to rain. One of the ladies pulled out a cut off the end, put it over her cigarette, and continued smoking. Lady: "What's that?" Woman: "A This way, my cigarette doesn't get wet." Lady: "Where did you get it?" Woman: "You can get them at any drugstore." The next day, Lady hobbles herself into the local drugstore and announces to the pharmacist that she wants a box of. The guy looks at her kind of strangely. She is, after all, over 80 years of age, but politely asks what brand she prefers. Lady: "It doesn't matter as long as it fits a camel." When a group of tourists visited a crocodile farm, the owner said, "If anyone jumps in, swims to the coast, and survives, I'll give you $1 million. No one dared to move. But suddenly, a man jumped into the water and desperately swam to the shore while being chased by all the crocodiles. The owner announced, "We have a brave winner." After collecting his reward, the man and his wife returned to their hotel. Upon his arrival, the manager told him he was very brave to take the challenge. The man said, "I didn't jump, someone pushed me." His wife smiled. Moral: behind every successful man, there's a woman who pushes him.